Let's get it going. It's your
Oh,
man,
yeah.
Dominique here. I got your man in. I got your man Ray. Special edition Thursday NBA trade season. Let's go. Let's get right to it. So you already know the NBA trades season had happened today. So tell me, what do you guys think about the NBA trade season? Any trades pop off on you? Any teams you think did not make no moves that you thought was gonna make some moves?
Go ahead, Ray.
First of all, I want to say it's been a crazy day with all these trades. Obviously, the world has heard about Ben Simmons and James Harden changing teams. Everybody's excited about that trade. Me personally, I think it should have been Kyrie instead of James. But I am excited to see what Ben can do for the Brooklyn Nets, especially when KD gets back. KD is basically, when he gets back, I don't think he's going to facilitate as much as he usually does. I think he is going to be, I think he can actually score more than what he did. What is he averaging, like 30 points? He'll probably score like 32 points a game with Ben Simmons on that team. Now, for Philly's side, I think Philly, to be honest, I think Harden was the missing piece to Philly. I think he's gonna play well with Joel Embiid. But it's obviously gonna take a while for them to be on the same page. I think it's gonna take even longer than Brooklyn. With other trades like Karis LeVert to Cleveland, I thought, that was probably one of the best moves by Cleveland. Cleveland is number 4, number 3 in the conference right now with Karis LeVert. Great shooter, great facilitator, young as well, and can be a great partner in crime with Garland. So I'm excited to see what they can do. I also like the trade with Sabonis, Sacramento. They needed to get rid of a couple guys, and I think Sacramento needed a big man, a legit big man, not Tristan Thomas, no disrespect. I think with Sabonis and Fox, maybe they can get good chemistry going. But we'll see, man. I don't know. I'm excited, man. It happened so quickly. You know what I'm saying? I was at work and I got all these updates. So I'm really excited about the second half of the season after the All-Star game.
Nice. Got you.
Go ahead, Ian. What's your take?
Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna start off with our Celtics. I love the trade. I love that they was able to go get a young puppy, Derek White from the Spurs.
Yeah, y'all got White.
Yeah.
Y'all got
White. Yup. We was able to send put up it was Dennis Schroeder for him, right?
We traded Romeo.
No, Langford. Yeah, Langford.
And I think Langford, a 3-team trade. I mean, Derek White he's not old, but he's not young. He's 27, so he's in the midst of his
He's 27, but still young. 27 is still young.
Yeah.
27 is still young. But
combo guard though. He's a combo guard. Yeah. He's not legit. He's a combo guard.
He can attack. He can attack. He can pass. He's a good passer. He can facilitate. So I can't wait to see how he performs on the floor with the Celtics. I'm excited to see that.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the trade with Simmons and Harden. I think with Simmons on the Nets, I think he's gonna end up either playing a 3 or 4. I think they're gonna rotate him and Durant when Durant comes back. So I'm gonna give him, I'm gonna give it a chance to see what he can do over there. And I like Harden to Philly. I like that he's gonna be teaming up with Embiid. He's a star. He can facilitate. He can attack. He can pass. He got game. And I like the Sabonis. I like the Sabonis trade. Definitely like the Sabonis trade to the Kings. I like him over there with Fox. If Fox gonna remain with the team, I'm looking forward to watching Sabonis explosiveness. I think he's gonna bring his explosiveness to the team,
Yep.
the game.
Daniel
And
Theis comes back to Boston too in a trade.
who?
Boston Theis. I mean Daniel
Oh yeah,
Theis
Theis
comes
is
back
back.
to Boston.
Yeah, Theis is back. That's a big back on the team.
Yeah.
That's a big back on the team.
And his cancer is out.
Oh yeah, he's out. He's out, and he was big too.
Theis is a good fit, man. I like Theis. Theis is an undersized big, but somebody
he was
grab me like 10 to 12 rebounds.
He was solid.
As a backup, he's not that bad.
Celtics, he was solid.
As a backup, he's not that bad. I think what messed him up is they tried to make him a starter, and he's not a starter. He's a backup. Like, keep him in his role.
Was he a starter for Houston?
Yeah, and
I think he did not start that much for Houston. I don't think he got a lot of playing time. I think he kind of, was on and off again in the rotation, and then it was kind of like, they gave pretty much they gave him away for freedom, so it was like, pretty much he wasn't getting much playing time over there. We'll see if he's going to be better. I like the move, but I don't love the move. I still feel like Daniel Theis is at a certain age bracket, and I don't think he's going to get any better or be more efficient or anything. I think he's just he's a familiarity. So, I mean, he improves talent-wise from freedom and stuff, but I still think the Celtics needed another 7-footer to come off the bench. I would have loved to see Mo Bamba in a trade. I would have loved to see them go after a Mo Bamba or somebody with size, somebody that we can actually play that can hit the three, somebody that can play the backup minutes to Rob Williams and give us a different look. So I feel like the Celtics did okay. Yeah. They made moves to get, to help facilitate. They even got a second-round pick from the Orlando Magic. Yeah. But I don't think they did anything special. But I want to get you guys your take here. The Sacramento Kings said they wasn't going to trade Harrison Barnes because they wanted to make a playoff push with the roster they got now. What do y'all think?
So Harrison Barnes, we know that he is a great role player. He's got championship experience, right? 2015 Warriors team. He's known to hit big shots in crucial minutes. I'm not gonna sit here and say, I'm gonna keep him. If he is valuable enough, why not get rid of him? But I can understand from Sacramento's point of view why they want to keep him, because he has championship experience and maybe he's a positive person in the locker room.
Yeah, I agree with Ray. I like the fact that they're keeping Harrison Barnes. He has championship experience back from his days with the Warriors, and he got game. He's solid. He's pretty solid.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe he does have positivity in the locker room, and he can keep the chemistry together. Yeah, but I was gonna say I like the LeVert trade. I think he elevates the Cavaliers.
Oh yeah,
with his ability to attack.
They needed a wing player. They needed somebody that can play on the wing
right now. They're on the map in the East. The Cavs is they on the map in the East.
And talk about the Cj Mccollum trade. What did y'all think of that trade? Because I think Portland did horrible in that trade.
Oh, go ahead, Ant. I'm gonna go after you this time.
Cj McCollum to
yes, sir.
Pelicans.
They get Cj McCollum. That's a good one right there.
Josh Hart. I was saying him DD. I'm not really sure about the Cj McCollum trade to the Pelicans. I don't think with him not really being healthy, but he's a pure shooter, has the ability to shoot, but I don't see him, as enough for the Pelicans to be successwesuccessful. I know the last time I checked, the Pelicans was 8th in the East, but they just traded away 4 young guys.
Nah, they weren't even on the playoff map. The Pelicans. They weren't even in like.
Nah, but yeah, they was in eight. If I'm mistaken, they was in eighth place right now, unless a team took their spot.
Really, I thought I had them.
Because the conference, the standings been fluctuating, huh?
I had them lower than that. I thought they were like 11th.
I know.
In the West.
Oh, weeks ago they was in eighth, but they must have, the standings fluctuate because some nights teams win, some nights teams lose, so back and forth. But yeah, the Blazers traded Cj Mccollum. They traded Cj McCollum, and they got 4 young guys from the Pelicans.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, Cj McCollum with Larry Nance and Tony Snell. For Josh Hart, Alexander Walker, Thomas Satoransky, and D.D. Lazard.
But Alexander Walker is no longer in Portland. They traded him again.
Wow.
They moved. Like, if you look at like the way these were all like broken down and everything, they were moved, and then a lot of these players were moved and then moved again. So Portland was highly active. Even the San Antonio Spurs was very active for a team that was struggling. They didn't stay pat, which that's something I like. That shows a team that's saying, okay, we're trying to build, we're trying to revamp, we're trying to get off of guys, like start making some moves here, figure this thing out. They were willing to be active. So I like that San Antonio was highly active. That's a team to win next season.
Yeah. But I would say in this trade sweepstakes, if I had to choose between the Kings and the 76ers, I'm going to go with the Kings-Pacers trade as the number one best trade in the trade deadline, because the Pacers trade Sabonis, Justin Holiday, Jeremy Lamb, and the Pacers in return, the Pacers got Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Tristan Thompson. I think that is an all
It's Tristan Kardashian, bro.
Listen.
Buddy Hield.
Buddy Hield and Tyrese Halliburton to the Pacers. That was something that Indiana has. The Sacramento Kings got to be questioned about that move. You can't give him Halliburton. You just drafted him a year ago. He's your best player, and you give him up? You give up on him that quick?
Yeah.
Come on.
He's the second best player. Let's not disrespect Fox now.
He was the best player on that team. Fox was number 2.
Stop it.
It's not a stop. It's a.
I think
Fox has been struggling this season. Fox has been struggling.
I think it was a sacrifice. I think it was a sacrifice mainly to get Sabonis.
It was, but now the pressure becomes on the Fox again, because nowadays this is still your team, I guess. That I don't know why.
That Sabonis is there? I don't think so.
It's Fox's team.
It's not though. It's Sabonis' team.
You think it's Sabonis' team, or do you think they're gonna fight for it to see whose team it is?
I mean,
I think they're gonna fight for it.
Sabonis is the better player to me.
I think
to
they're
me
gonna
personally,
fight.
I think Sabonis is
unless they pull a Wade LeBron move in the off season or in their downtime, go out to eat somewhere and be like, hey, Sabonis, you can have this team. I'll be the second man. Whatever it takes to win. Unless they do that.
I think Fox is the one with the higher upside than Sabonis. So really? You're not gonna say it's Sabonis' team.
He has 2
Sabonis is a 2-time All-Star that had a team in the East that can't make the playoffs.
They made the playoffs last year.
They made the playoffs last year, but it wasn't only because of him. But think about it. Indiana said that they'd rather continue with Miles Turner than Sabonis.
And that's a big mistake. Because Miles Turner is a great defender, but he is overrated. This dude was supposed to be.
I think him and Sabonis are overrated together.
No.
But guys, I got a question. No. Well, when y'all done, I got a question for y'all. Y'all ready?
What's the question?
So how do you guys feel about Bo and PJ Dozier getting fired before starting their first job? You get it?
Yeah.
Straight into the Magic.
They got fired?
Meaning traded to the Magic. They was traded to the Magic for.
I mean,
a second-round pick.
they're both not going to play this season.
They're
So
not.
to a team like the Celtics, it didn't make sense. You knew that those were players that were pieces that another team like the Magic was going to take. So the Celtics get a second-round pick. Now the Celtics is trying to – the Celtics – okay, here's the problem with the Celtics was they're trying to get under the cap.
I'm going to tell you why that's not a good move.
Yeah, I thought y'all knew about it. But, yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to tell you why it's not a good move. Right? Bol, yes, he's injury-prone, whatever. Dude's only 21, 22 years old. I think Boston should have played the patience game and patiently waited for him because, like I said, if with the right training and the proper feel for the game, dude is close to Kevin Durant. I think now the Magic's how young they are now. Adding Bol, maybe next year they can make noise to make the playoffs. So, I mean, it's funny, but at the end of the day, they probably ended up with a sleeper because I think he slept on.
I think, yeah.
But you also got to remember, if you're in the Celtics position, this is a guy you're not going to be able to use. He's going to take a roster spot. You're going to have to pay him in the next season because you don't know what he's going to be. So I think the Celtics made the move that they could by getting out of the luxury tax. The Celtics were not trying to pay the luxury tax. That is why they made the moves that they made and why they probably didn't go after a bigger fish, because they looked at it and said, you know what, let's just start to reevaluate our assets. And we got to take a look and see what DJ White's contract is. And I think that's why they went after a guy like DJ White, somebody who's still, you can still control his contract. He's might get some money, but he's not going to be overpaid. And you start to reacquire assets because you need to start revamping this team around Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So you did get better, but you also were not willing to spend money. So you therefore were not able to go over the tax. You still have Al Horford's contract until the end of this season, until you can, hopefully he opts out. If not, he's only $14 million guaranteed. So you have to deal with that. You got to pay Rob Williams, which you're paying Rob Williams next season. You're paying Marcus Smart next season. So I think in the offseason, you might see a couple more moves. I think the Celtics will be a team that's going to be highly aggressive in the offseason. But let me ask you this question. Kristaps Porzingis gets traded for Spencer Dinwiddie today. What do y'all think?
Now, let me listen. I have love and hate for Kristaps Porzingis. We all, because he did us dirty, but I ain't gonna talk about that. Different time, different subject. I am happy for him. Because we all know how he was doing in Dallas, right? You would have decent teams, but then again, I know the feeling of being in somebody's shadow. That's Luka's team, and I think he's come to terms with that. He's played decent in Dallas. I honestly think he played better in New York, but I think this is a fresh start, right? You have Bradley Beal when he comes back from his horrific injury. Hopefully he can get well soon. But there's no big man. They need help. And I think Porzingis needs to be on that type of team. So I'm excited to see what he can do. Hopefully he can become an all-star because we all think he has all-star talent. So hopefully Washington could be the place for him. With Dinwiddie, I mean, hey, it's a good look for him. He's a bigger combo guard, somebody that can help Luka when Luka's tired. I think he might start, but we'll see. But I think it was a better move for Washington, but we'll see what happens. I think Washington got the better deal out of the trade.
So what do y'all think about? I mean, you think Washington got the better?
I didn't go.
You think Washington got the better deal?
Yes.
I think Washington got the better deal. They got an extra big to play with Montrezl Harrell.
And he got traded.
He got traded?
Montrezl Harrell got traded.
Yeah, Montrezl Harrell got traded to Charlotte.
He got traded to Charlotte.
There's so many. You just gotta look. You got so many trades.
Because I didn't get an alert. I didn't get an alert early about Montrez.
It was a small one because some of the trades weren't reported as much because there's so much stuff coming out. Like for instance, the report came out that Kyrie was excited for James Harden to be traded. So there's that report.
Kyrie, man.
Kyrie Irving, that boy gets motivated. You never know. Listen, this team, the Nets team, they got a lot more depth.
I love Kyrie, bro.
All right, but still, I think the Wizards won this trade. They got a big, especially with Bradley Beal being done for the season. They're gonna need, some kind of help. But with Dallas, I think it's okay. Dinwiddie's not a bad player. He's solid. He get to play with their star player, Luka Doncic. So
but I mean, also Davis Bertans was in that trade for Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, Bertans.
There was another trade. Russell Westbrook for John Wall. I had gotten an alert about that. I don't know if it's true, but that one came out too. Westbrook back to Houston.
So what happened was,
unless it was a speculation or something.
Yeah, it was a speculation. The Rockets wanted to bring him back.
Yep. Serge Ibaka goes to Milwaukee. That's another one that's being slept on.
Yeah. That's another sleeper.
Goran Dragic to the Spurs.
Yep, Goran Dragic to the Spurs in the trade with the Raptors. But Sacramento gets Dante DiVincenzo, Trey Lyles, Josh Jackson. Milwaukee gets Serge Ibaka, a 22nd round pick from Detroit. Least favorable via Cleveland Golden State. And then the LA Clippers receive Rodney Hood and Semi Ojeleye, and Detroit gets Marvin Bagley III. So that was a big move right there. That's like big right there. And Torrey Craig to Phoenix, and Jalen Smith to Indiana. So Jalen Smith, he was actually playing pretty well. Now he goes to Indiana.
Yeah.
So that's a big move right there. That's another big one. And Dennis Schroeder goes to Houston.
He goes to Houston, yeah.
And Thaddeus Young goes to Toronto. Now that makes them even better. Thaddeus Young, who he thinks, they made some moves.
Here's a 3-team deal, right? The Jazz get Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Juancho Hernan-Gomez. The Blazers get Joe Ingles, Elijah Hughes, and the Spurs get Thomas Satoransky via Portland.
Listen, the Spurs have been winners today. They have been collecting asset after asset after asset. They will be good next year.
Richardson is the only downfall.
And they got Goran Dragic over there too. He's solid. He can attack. He can shoot. Yeah. That's their vet right there. That's their vet because the Spurs is a young team.
They got Goran Dragic, but they got Goran Dragic. That team is gonna be better next season because that he's gonna come off the book. They did that.
That's why when you trade for young puppies. Don't get all these vets like the Lakers did in the offseason. Don't get these older dogs. Go after young pups.
Vets are good if you're trying to win a chip. Vets are good if you're trying to win a chip. If you're not winning a chip, you get younger. You have to get younger.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
I think the Lakers are losers this
But to win a chip, you want a combination of vets and young players, young guys around.
Listen, the Lakers and the Knicks lost today. The Lakers and the Knicks lost today. They lost. Lakers and Knicks lost because they did not make any moves. They did not get better, and they did not get off of any salary or open up any more roster spots. They were losers today, and it will pay out when it comes to playoff time. And if I'm the Knicks is going to be trying. I don't know why. What are you keeping on? I think that if I was the Knicks, I would take Russell Westbrook and get off my bad contracts. Give the Lakers Evan Fournier. I like the trade for Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker, and Alex Burks to the Lakers for Russell Westbrook. and then give me Russell Westbrook, give me Talkin Horton Tucker, and that helps both teams out offensively, and it helps both teams out in having some different type of vibe. Just start fresh, because what were you getting out of that team?
I think personally, if we would have brought Westbrook over to New York, I think we would have seen Washington Wizards Westbrook, or we would have saw OKC Westbrook. It's a big city.
Yeah.
You know, his ego is pretty big. And matches, they go together hand in hand. And he wouldn't be winning a championship, obviously, but
the Knicks
career in a beautiful way.
The Knicks would be in the playoffs.
Be an all-star next year if he was gonna be on the Knicks this year, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, what do you think of Robert Covington and Norman Powell on Portland? I mean, on the Clippers. What do y'all think?
Beneficial to the Clippers, but for the Blazers, not.
That's what I mean. The Blazers, to me, I don't think they did enough. I don't think they got enough picks. Like, they should have got more first-round picks, more second-round picks. They should be loaded right now. They should be living like OKC.
Yeah, but I think with the Blazers, Bledsoe's not coming back after this season.
Yeah,
it could possibly get waived, being that he's going to be a free agent.
That's true.
Yep.
Oh man, poor Damian.
Yeah, but
Lillard.
Portland, that's
Damian Lillard. He's getting traded in the offseason. Damian Lillard's getting traded in the offseason. He's not coming back. He's not going back to Portland.
Yeah, it looks like they're rebuilding because you got rid of two really good two-way, and especially Robert Covington. Robert Covington's his availability is crucial. Any team is going to want him on their team because of his offensive and defensive mindset.
They might have to pay him. We'll see where he goes in the offseason.
But I think with that Brooklyn trade, Harden for Simmons, Brooklyn is going to go down as one of the worst big three failures in NBA history, because that Kyrie Irving, Harden, Durant, big three did not work out.
Nope.
Did not work out.
But did y'all think it was going to work out, though?
I thought, honestly, yes. I thought the Nets was going to get a championship. I got to be honest.
The first season, they were really good. The problem was the vaccine mandate that hurt them. And then also, I think the roster construction in the offseason, I think that also hurt them. And I think also what they gave up for James Harden, because they shouldn't have gave up Jared Allen. They should have told Kevin Durant that we need to pay Jared Allen. We need to give up DeAndre Jordan because he's not good for us. And then they ended up giving up DeAndre Jordan in the offseason. So therefore, you got off a player you didn't want. That nobody wants him no more. He's not good anymore. So they made bad moves. I don't think it was 100% the big three. I think it was 100% that the moves they made weren't that good. And then it put so much pressure on James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving to be there and to play dominant that it overloaded the success of the team, so it made it not fun. So therefore, now James Harden, I don't want to deal with this. I can go be the man by myself. I came here to make life easier and do what Kevin Durant went to Golden State, to be on a team that we can just win a championship. Like just run through the East, just run through the league, run through the playoffs and win a chip. Like, that's what he really did. When he said he wanted to go to Brooklyn, that's why he wanted to go to Brooklyn, because he wanted to go to Brooklyn so he can be the Kevin Durant of a few years ago when Kevin Durant went to Golden State. He was not trying to go to compete. He was trying to go and dominate and just run through the league. And they gave up too much to get him, and he could have stepped up and could have told Kevin, yo, keep some of them young bucks on that roster and give up the ones that we don't need. Because if they kept Karis LeVert and they kept Jared Allen and they gave up the Spencer Dinwiddie's of the world and they gave up some of those other guys, they would have been much better off. That would have been that would have had a much better chance to win a chip last year. But the reason why they did it is because they gave up too much for James Harden, which there's nobody else. When you're watching the team play, I mean, look at it. The Celtics went 28-2 the other night. 28 to 20 to 28 points to 2.
That was blasphemous. I saw that.
It was crazy.
That's because you gave up everything. And look who's playing well. Chris LeVert, Jared Allen. That's who you gave up. And Houston didn't even want those guys.
And Jared Allen was on that team playing very well defense, grabbing rebounds,
Yeah.
blocking everything that was brought his way.
Yeah.
And they gave him up to Cleveland.
And now they gave him up to Cleveland, and now they had to go get Andre Drummond to replace what they had in Jared Allen because they need it.
My question to y'all.
What?
So now that Nets and Sixers are fully established, who do you think? Now let's not look at the superpower Nets. All right, let's talk reality, because superpower teams sometimes don't even work out. But let's look at reality. Right. What team is gonna make a better playoff push this season with the updates? The Nets or the Sixers?
You gotta hold that question, Ray. We gotta give that to the fans to come back and tune in for our next episode. Okay. We gotta go. You heard the question Ray asked. Who's the better team? Catch us live Sunday, next episode. This was a special edition, trade edition. Ray or Ant, who wants to go first with their final thoughts?
I'll go. Yeah, Q&A. It's well, I love the first off, I love the Pacers Kings trade. The Philly and Nets trade, I'm fine with it. We'll see what happens with Ben Simmons in Brooklyn and James Harden in Philly. But my question to you guys is, how do you guys feel about the trades?
Ray, final thoughts?
Yeah, my final thought is we are so excited to see this man Ben Simmons come back this half of the season. I'm really excited to see what he's going to do. Yeah, the trades are big in the news right now, but I just want to see. My question is, who do y'all think is going to make a better playoff push? Nets or the Sixers will be the trades?
And one more thing. Young stud Derek White. I'm glad to have him on the Celtics. I'm looking forward to watching him.
Yes, sir. All right, you heard it here. You heard it here first. Talking Sports. Your man Dominique, your man Ant, So let's get it on. Talk to you soon. Episode tonight. It's an episode coming to you Thursday and Talking Life. Stay tuned, see what we got. Let's talk to them, people. Talk to us.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Other than that, you have a good one, folks. Peace and love. Follow, comment, and subscribe down below. Follow, comment, and subscribe.